I'm gonna go,
Do your thing.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most amazing Spider-Man video games. Number 10, Spider-Man.
I can hear Jameson's voice already.
Brock, you loser! If I had given a real photographer that job, I would finally have the evidence to send Spider-Man away forever! You're through, Brock!
We'll be the first to admit that this PS1 and 64 classic probably hasn't held up too well with its controls. Just look at all the wall crawling. However, we love this game primarily because of how it finally let us live out those Spidey adventures we spent years reading.
Spider-Man, you have to save me!
Seeing our favorite villains in action and ready to fight was incredibly exciting, and with Stanley narrating, it truly felt like we were living out our comic book fantasy. Plus, the corny voice acting still hits us a certain way, regardless of how archaic it may seem to younger audiences.
My camera! No!
Number 9, Spider-Man: Web of Shadows.
Venom, get ready for a world of pain!
You don't necessarily play Web of Shadows for the story or the combat. No, you play Web of Shadows for the utter ridiculousness that's on display. We mean that in a positive way too. Web of Shadows has some of the hokey edgelord attitude that we saw in Spider-Man 3. The differences between the two is that the game is way more fun than the movie. Even with the questionable voice acting and writing, it's all smiles when you start using pedestrians to slide on and fight symbiote versions of your friends. It's complete and total chaos in this game, but that's what makes Web of Shadows such a fun and unforgettable experience.
Don't do it! Just come with me!
Number 8, Spider-Man.
Losing the contract could bankrupt Oscorp. I can only assume that Spider-Man relates to our problem in some way.
We really gotta give some love to the first game based on Sam Raimi's movies. Spider-Man for PS2, Xbox, and GameCube was simply remarkable in its scope and execution. Whereas the PS1 and N64 Spider-Man nailed the tone and general gameplay, this title took it a step further by giving us complete freedom to swing around and explore New York. On top of that, you had spectacular unlockables, like the Green Goblin campaign, a first-person camera mode, and even the ability to play as MJ. Plus, you had the legendary Bruce Campbell as your tutorial guide.
If you press the zip line button, you'll zip in the direction you're crawling. Of course, you'd know this if you played the basic tutorial, but I guess you're just cooler than the rest of us.
Number 7, Spider-Man: Mysterio'S Menace. The handheld games really don't get a ton of love, and Mysterio'S Menace is the one that's unfairly overshadowed the most. This GBA title boasted some impressive visuals and audio design, a rarity amongst many third-party GBA games, especially licensed ones. And even though it's a pretty short game, the level design, bosses, and controls make it thoroughly enjoyable to play. Besides, how often does Mysterio get to make a meaningful appearance and not be played up for laughs or dismissed to the role of an early boss? Number 6, Ultimate Spider-Man.
I expected more from you.
What do you get when you take the open-world design of the Spider-Man movie games and give it a less realistic art style? You get this tough cookie. Ultimate Spider-Man was exceptional in how it managed to introduce even more cool ideas to this new 3D era of the web-slinger. Case in point, you can play as Venom. So, if you wanted to be the hero of New York, then sure, be Spidey. But if you want to tear stuff apart and eat people, it's Venom all the way. The only reason this isn't higher is because the boss fights can be aggravating in the worst ways possible. Best to keep a cool head if you revisit this. Number 5. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Somebody knock him out!
Activision really had their studios go through a bizarre era of experimental Spidey games. Thankfully, they worked, for the most part, and of them all, Shattered Dimensions was an absolute blast. Here, you get to play as 4 versions of the web-slinger, each playing differently from each other and having unique focuses for their levels.
Can't be swinging around when there are lives at stake.
So, you have your mix of stealth, massive combat encounters, and a plethora of powers to play with on top of incredible redesigns of various villains. Shattered Dimensions was just filled to the brim with creativity and passion, and it's why so many swear by the game to this day.
It wasn't exactly a day at the beach, but it was worth it. And now to clean the sand out of my shorts.
Number 4. Spider-Man 2. Activision's Spider-Man 2 was long heralded as the best Spider-Man video game, and it isn't hard to see why. Once again, we were given a recreation of Manhattan to swing around and play in.
Spider-Man just showed!
This time, the controls were tighter, the side missions had a bigger scope, more allies and villains were stuffed in despite not being in the movie, and who could forget those enjoyable pizza delivery missions? You had a video game based on the best Spidey movie ever, coupled with a ton of amazing ideas to give players more to do. What more could you ask for?
Oh no, the boss is gonna kill me.
Number 3. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Come on.
He's here!
Straight up vanishing really freak these guys out.
In all honesty, Miles Morales could have had a way better story than it turned out to be. But regardless of how one may feel about the Tinkerer's underwhelming reveal, the game still flourished with its new ideas. Venom powers, invisibility, and boss fights with foes like the Prowler made Miles Morales just as fun as the 2018 game.
Don't trust anybody, and don't take off that mask. Wait till Roxxon finds a better target.
I can't lay low. I still need to find Finn.
Even though the game is significantly shorter, we were more than happy to spend our time with what may be the first Spider-Man game not focused on Peter Parker.
Keep it up!
Number 2. Marvel's Spider-Man.
Next customer.
Back in 2018, Insomniac Games did the unthinkable and managed to outdo Activision's Spider-Man 2. How so? By making it the ultimate Spidey experience.
You do know I can still see you, right?
Swing around Manhattan, stop crimes committed by criminals, utilize gadgets to investigate areas, making fights more interesting, and of course, the suits. Oh, the glorious wardrobe of suits from movies, TV, and various comics. It was a massive love letter to the webhead from head to toe, and yet, somehow, they have outdone themselves.
If you think this will be more than a minor inconvenience...
Whoop! Gotta go!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Hey guys, this is my best friend Harry.
Hey, good to meet you.
New job, huh? Still gonna have time for tutoring?
Well, they went and did it again. The mad brilliance from Insomniac Games shines once more with Spidey's latest outing. On the surface, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 looks like more of the same of what we saw in its predecessor. However, this new title comes with a handful of quality of life improvements between traversal, controls, and UI.
The app will also include incoming requests from those who call Marvel's New York home. Some will ask for either Spider Hero to help.
As for the story, it is perhaps the best and most mature Spider-Man story we've seen since Raimi's movies, between Peter's internal conflicts with the symbiote and the visceral depiction of Venom. If you don't have a PS5 yet, now is the time to get one. What's your favorite Spider-Man game? Did it make our list? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Watch Mojo for more superhero videos.
SWAT is 1084 at Fisk Tower. All units stand by. Warrant is en route.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.